And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon
mauled by the dog
Rimes.
outside.
All right, Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals, also helping you as a consumer advocate. We got Michael Emdy in the house, massive IT, all things related to technology. We're going to talk with him here in just a moment. Also, a couple of hot listings. You know, we like to feature our properties on air, and we have our next event coming up. It's Thursday, April 24th. What we're doing is for our gratitude party this month, it's a 5-chamber mixer. We're going to be at the Threshers Baseball. That's the Clearwater's Thresher, 5-chamber mixer, $35, includes your food. You got some drinks there as well, and it's a baseball game. So come on out and network with us, 5-chamber mixer. We hope to see you there. Make sure you say hello to us when you come. 221 Howard Drive, beautiful listing. We got a great listing here on Bel Air Beach. This is a great opportunity to own real estate on the beaches. Multi-million-dollar listing from the Platinum MVP team. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square foot, gorgeous 3-island kitchen, Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of linear water frontage, deep water access. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. Beautiful property. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Michael MD, welcome back in, sir.
Hey, how are you doing?
Just blessed and highly favored, man. Things are good. Yes, sir.
I'm surly today.
Yeah?
I'm in high-speed mode today. We're on fire.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
fire.
Sometimes you're in that mood, right? You get things going.
Go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do
let's
it.
do it.
So technology-wise, what's new in your world? What are you seeing out there?
I would say paying a lot of attention. We're getting a lot of influx about like politics. You know, go figure. Right? What does that have to do with technology? Well, they're watching D.O.G.E. They're going into these places like the IRS, and they're thinking, you know, all of these systems. What was the one that was underground the records place? It was Iron Mountain, right? Mm-hmm. Which is actually a vendor, which was interesting that they just treated it like it was an office, which it is. Huh. But it was underground and everything was in one elevator. The only elevator went up and down. They could only put 2 people in the elevator. And everything for retirement for the employees was based on paper manila folders.
Wow.
No computer system. So they're going
after all these times,
they're going to modernize it. So it took them like a month to process 50 employees' retirements for the government, and they were stacked up for 500 years backlog. Jeez. And so now he's talking about modernizing it with electronics and technology and things like that, and they're going to run 5,000 a month.
What a novel idea.
Yeah, what a novel idea.
Let's add some technology here.
Because of that, we're getting a lot of influx of, hey, I don't know if it's triggering something in everyone's mind about, hey, I need to modernize my office. I need to modernize my business, my workflows, my security, just everything across the board.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of that. And people are mentioning by name D.O.G.E., right? And the Iron Mountain example I've had at least twice from people who were like, when they went into that mountain and it was all paper and he's like, that's us.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, man. A lot of companies. I mean, resistance to change. I remember growing up, my dad, I always worked with him. It was like, if you're not playing a sport, you're working with me. So we found a sport to play, baseball, basketball, track, football, whatever it was, right? We were figuring something. But I remember because back in the day, we had to take photos before and after the job. And it was Polaroid cameras. We were shaking them Polaroids like, what was it, Andre 2000, 3000, So, but I remember my dad freaking out. He's like, oh, we got to go to this digital stuff now, and I don't know how it works. And it was a big shift for a lot of people,
Yeah, I remember digital cameras. Everyone had one, the SD card. You had to plug it in, connect to the computer. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and you could go on back with that stuff. But, yeah, so it's interesting. So technology changes. Our human beings are naturally resistant to change. So how does that play out in your world?
That is definitely generational that we're seeing at this point.
Right.
But I will say, the generation, my generation, your generation, are now coming to touch with it because I think they're being forced into it from all fronts.
Yes.
Socially, politically, financially, personally, in the business, their competitors, right? Their vendors, their suppliers, their customers, their clients. People want to give electronic payments.
Yep.
And so what are they doing? They're going to Square or whatever they are, with, getting the point of sale device and doing all that sort of thing. Which reminds me of, we're going to Europe in a couple of months.
Sweet.
And ever since we, got back 2-3 years ago on another trip, I remember just everyone coming to the table with the point of sale machine at the table.
Yes.
And we're so used to, as Americans, to give your credit card and it walks away.
Yeah.
It freaks me out now. I'm like,
But now we're
hey,
seeing
where are you
it.
going with my credit card?
Yeah. So that's here now, though. Some places.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
But barely 50%.
But it's behind. Yeah, and it's behind definitely. Europe.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
that
There, it's
perspective.
everywhere. It's
Yeah.
It's 99%.
Yeah.
Like they don't take it. Like to them, it's weird.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Michael MD, massiveit.com, massiveit.com. Michael, how can you help business owners and what does a consultation look like if people reach out and say, yeah, look, I need some help. I got to streamline this. I got to do that. How does it look?
It really starts with assessments and discovery, right? A lot of customers come and say, hey, can you just give me a quote?
Right.
It'd be like me trying to quote your house for carpet, or to paint, right?
Yeah.
I can't. I need to see it, right? We need to measure it.
Yep.
And same thing for technology. You can't just say, hey, give me a quote, right? There's so many variables. I don't know what level you're at in security, how old are the PCs, the server, the network, all the different challenges that you have.
Right.
Because inevitably, can I give you a quote? Yes. And then I show up with 1 gallon of paint to paint a 6-bedroom house, right?
Or moving how many bedrooms you have. I need to know how big of a truck I need. Right.
That's right. Yeah. And so then I show up with a little, the smallest U-Haul, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at me like I'm crazy because I showed up with the smallest U-Haul, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you just said give you a quote. I'm like, here it is, right? So, I would say that to the customer side, just keep in mind that we need information. Anybody who's doing anything for you needs information.
Yeah.
Measurement, size, pictures, inventory, list of what you've got, anything is helpful.
Yeah.
And that's the first step is assessment, is coming in and taking a look at what you have. And then from there, working with you to have a conversation about what your goals are, what the requirements are. Because at the end of the day, we're engineers. And give me a goal, give me the requirements, and we will design and build and deploy whatever you want.
Right.
Right? Just like building a house.
Yeah.
What's the goal? What's the requirements?
Yes.
And we'll build it to your goal and requirements, right? To your satisfaction.
Your specs, your specifications.
Your specifications.
Yeah, absolutely. And what so you can zoom into people's computers, or you can do a FaceTime call. I mean, there's lots of ways. That's what's great about technology today. What are some of the biggest pushbacks that you see, or reasons why people just kind of delay this thing?
I think usually it's a surprise at the amount of cost and potentially disruption that they might have or perceive that they will have.
Right.
Because going from typically where customers are when we acquire them to where they want to be or where they should be, it takes some effort. And it's a lot of effort on our part, but it's also effort on their part to coordinate that internally with their employees and their business processes.
Right.
Right. Operations, sales, production, whatever that is. If they're a services company, if they're a manufacturing company, right? You have to take system offline for a minute, right? 5 minutes, whatever it is, sometimes to do a couple of things, right? To get it to where it needs to be. But in the long run, the investment far outweighs the effort.
Right.
Right. So you really get an ROI, a return on your investment for this effort, whether it's security, optimization, stability, durability, longevity, whatever it is, right? Things have to be fixed and repaired and tuned up. It's just like a car, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be maintained.
Yeah. Two-factor authorization, those, hey, text the phone, get the code. That makes our life a lot easier. There's one company I'll tell you about off air, but they just go way overboard. They made me do a selfie, and then it's got like multiple steps, like take a selfie, this and that. And I'm like, the selfie didn't work. Now what? And I ended up just canceling the subscription to this company that it's like a commercial real estate thing. I just said, nope, not doing it anymore. It's too cumbersome, your technology. And I think it's probably just because I had a bad rep. If you have a good rep, they can help you through those situations. But some companies go,
right?
Yeah, some people go too far with that.
Yeah, I agree. We have vendors who do the same thing, and they want 3 years of financials, and they want pictures, and they want a copy of your lease for your office. All of these things, and I'm thinking some of that's information that I don't want out. In the public, right? Like, maybe lease information, financial information, personal information, right? If you had to personally guarantee your lease for whatever the situation was, right? Now you have that information floating around in some place that, how are you securing it?
Right.
How about you prove to me that you're holding that data securely
right,
and efficiently. I won't name my vendor, but I had one who I know for a fact was storing my driver's license and some other information that we had to provide in order to use their service. And they're storing it in an Excel spreadsheet and a 3-ring binder, a 3-inch binder in a cabinet over the counter.
In a cave.
Good Lord.
And down in a cave. 2-person elevator.
Good Lord.
Which I know for sure they were doing. Now, they said, we will destroy it when we're done, yada, yada. I'm like, okay. Because they had a process they had to go through. They were audited. And, but I wasn't excited about providing, my lease and my personal information, my driver's license to prove who I was to them to hold, right? And then to trust them to destroy it. Do I get a certificate that you destroyed it? No.
Right.
So it's a two-way street, and some of them are going a little bit overkill. Some of them are required. In this case, my vendor was required to do it by the U.S. government.
Yeah.
And so I had to provide it, but I wasn't real thrilled at how they handled it themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
how do you want people to connect with you, Michael?
Reach out to us at www.massiveit.com to learn about our products, services. And you can reach us at 813-518-5454 or sales@massiveit.com.
There you go. Email sales@massiveit.com. And thanks for coming in, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Next story I want to move to here. Slight decline in rates helps new home sales to edge higher in February. So it's kind of interesting. A lot of people have been asking about the real estate market. I get that question a lot out there. New home sales rose 1.8% in February to seasonally adjusted annual rate of $676,000, marking a 5.1 increase from the same time last year. A slight drop in mortgage rates and the continued shortage of existing home inventory. Now, this is nationally. When you think about national news, sometimes it's on par with what's happening in Tampa Bay. Sometimes it's not. But I want to look at Pinellas County stats here. I got the latest stats from Pinellas County. So Pinellas County, this is what they call non-distress, meaning it's not an REO, it's not a short sale. So you have in Pinellas County, the entire county, single-family homes, you have 1,324 that were sold last month. And if you divide that by the number of actives, 7,751 actives, that's a 17.1 absorption rate and 5.9 months supply of inventory. So what's interesting, though, is if you compare that to March of 2022, that was the high water mark, no pun intended, but that was the high water mark in terms of sales. Things were really going crazy. You had 1,112 properties available for sale, and that sold, and that gave us a so in other words, long story short, that is 6,639 more available actives, and you have 7 times more choices as a buyer today than you did in March of 2022. So it's interesting. It's a balanced market right now in the real estate space. Balanced market. As the sky's not falling, the mortgage market's going well. I think mortgage rates will be coming down, and we'll see a boom in the real estate space. We'll see sales picking up. Shouldn't say a boom, but sales will be picking up, and the rates will decline. All right. Hey, quick break. Coming back, we're going to talk about some of the latest stuff in the news. Have you heard about when they had NPR in the congressional hearing? NPR, 87 members of their organization, all of them registered as Democrats, and it was interesting to see. So I got a clip I'm going to play about that, and also another flop from Disney. Disney has another movie flop. We're going to talk about that. Dave and I will bounce that off each other coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon BRimes, 813-917-1894, ConsumerQB.com. Brandon BRimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Would love to help you if you're buying, selling, investing out there. Anybody out there making a move in real estate, reach out. We can help you with refinancing as well. If you're thinking about refinancing, you should get on our VIP list, and we'll do a watch list for you. What it is we're going to watch the rates, find out, when they take a dip. Sometimes it's an inter-day dip. Sometimes it's later on in the week or month. But if you want to refinance, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. We can put you on that list and make sure we kind of monitor where rates are, take a look, and then we'll have your file, in the system, and then boom, we can lock that rate when the rates do dip. So reach out on that. Also, if you're buying, selling, investing, my wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We're always helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing. We help you get maximum exposure. Our broadcast goes all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples. We're up towards the Panhandle, over towards Orlando, broadcasting your messages and your properties out there to maximum exposure. We got a property on South Taylor Road, vacant land, buy some dirt over there in beautiful Seffner, Florida. That's East Hillsborough County, 2.5 acres out there. Residential, duplex, conventional. So you can build duplexes, triplexes, quads out here and create a really cool income flow as well. Great area. It's experiencing rapid growth. Anywhere between here and Orlando, of course, you're seeing rapid growth out that way, and lots of density increases as well. Check out South Taylor Road, Seffner, for one of our vacant land listings. Also, Old Sycamore Loop. We've got one at 10711 Old Sycamore Loop, Land O'Lakes. 2.5, 2-car garage, 46 square foot, beautiful home, lighter color kitchen cabinetry. You have the granite countertops there. Great opportunity to own real estate. Also a fenced-in backyard, large fenced-in backyard. Community has a beautiful pool with a zero-depth entry. Great opportunity to buy real estate. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. Quick shout out to our friend Lee over at Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Lee's Royal Services for all of your residential cleaning, home and office cleaning. Lee'sRoyalServices.com as well. Brio Tuscan Grill is the official restaurant partner. Chef Oscar reached out to me the other day, said, hey, man, we got some really cool specials, some really unique packages that they're offering right now. Great ambiance, very friendly staff, delicious food. I really love the salmon fresca. I get that at least once a week. I love it over there at Brio Tuscan Grill. Longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Dave, I want to play a couple clips. You and I can riff on this a little bit. One that I didn't tease, but I think we should lead off with, is finally Trump is enacting some common sense voter ID rules.
President Trump is tightening federal voting rules, signing an executive order regarding who can vote. The order requires government-issued proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote and directs that all ballots be reviewed by Election Day.
Finally, common sense.
About time.
It
is called common sense.
And it's called Election Day, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't election week like they changed it to, or election month in some cases, like Arizona. And, some of these districts are terrible.
Extra time.
Yeah, it's like more time for fraudulent and nefarious activities.
Exactly.
Yeah, ridiculous. And then this was a really big story recently, too. Check this one out. NPR and PBS Unbelievable.
Here's an exchange in which the NPR chief admits it's concerning that all 87 members of her editorial board are registered Democrats.
So I would agree with you that number is a concern if it is accurate. I do believe that we need to have journalists who represent the full breadth of the American society so that we can report well for all Americans.
So why haven't you done it is my question, right?
Kerger, for her part, argues that the future of local stations is at stake if federal support is lost. She also says she believes her outlet is fair, nonpartisan, and objective. Here she is being grilled by Representative Pat Fallon on the number of times PBS used the term far right versus far left.
There was an analysis done on PBS's NewsHour from June to November of 2023, where they found that far right that term was used 162 times, and far left was only used 6 times. Do you find that troubling?
I don't know the study that you're referring to.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. 160. Not. And by the way, what is far right? Does that mean like you really believe in God and you really believe in the 10 Commandments?
I mean, you really don't pay attention to what they're saying.
But what is far right? I mean, I know what far left is. Far left is open borders, defunding the police. Men can be women and women can be boys, can be girls.
Right.
And, that's I understand. I see that as far left. But what is far right?
I can't answer that.
I mean,
there is no definition for this.
I know it's kind of weird, but anyways, that's what they say. It's I guess the short-term answer would be that's what they say to try to make it seem like there's something wrong with being on the right. When you're on the right, you're for let's just break it down. Look, you're for strength through peace, or peace through strength, right? And I love the clips of did you see the clips of Vance shooting that gun? He visited the Marines. Quantico, the FBI, and he was visiting some of the Marines, and he shot a long rifle into a targeted area with a berm behind it, and it was like boom, center chest. He nailed it, and his speech that he gave was just great. Did you catch that one?
I did not catch that one.
Yeah, but what a great VP he is. But yeah, it was interesting. And then, you have Disney with another flop. Here's a quick clip about Disney.
Well, I'll tell you, the words epic flop come to mind. It opened to a dismal $43 million domestically and only $87 million worldwide. And that's against a reported $270 million budget. So the numbers are still being finalized. But what that means is it's vying for the title of worst opening for a Disney live action remake ever. All weekend, people were posting viral videos of empty theaters for this film, and investors seem to be watching closely. Disney stock dipped 3% Monday morning.
So
yeah, when you look at that too, like we just went to Disney's been on a downhill slide for a long time.
Yes,
and we went to Disney not long ago, and we went with the family, and they had the VIP pass. So it was cool. We were able to get up front in the lines. I mean, that made it a good experience, and rode some of the roller coasters towards the end and things like that. But it was first time for our son to be there. And but I remember we had this dedicated host that walked us around, took us up to the front of the lines, would get us, some food and stuff while we're actually doing the ride. It was a pretty cool VIP package that we had. But I remember saying to her something like, yeah, she started talking about Walt. And I said, yeah, well, Walt's probably rolling over in his grave about some of the stuff going on with Disney. She didn't like that, boy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people, great friends of both of ours, that are huge Disney fans. Huge.
Yeah.
So I don't say anything about it, but there is so much controversy and conspiracy.
Yeah.
Is what goes on with them.
Yeah, it's
dropped
ridiculous.
a lot.
Yeah, some of the stuff they're just peddling. And I think that's where a line for a lot of people is when you start messing with children and you start indoctrinating and you start putting these things into children's minds. They shouldn't understand. A kid less than 8 years old or 10, 12 years old shouldn't even know what the word, what some of these words are. I'm not even going to go into the detail. But, when they start coming into these other categories of, switching genders, I mean, so it's kind of like so much
power.
Yeah, exactly.
So much power now.
Yeah, exactly. Influencing the youth is terrible. And it was like the joke I had, I guess on Tuesday when we were recording last week, it was, so the party that's cutting off kids' genitals says that D.O.G.E. has gone too far. That summarizes it, right, Dave?
But last I checked, also, didn't they actually buy the rights to the Bible as well?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah,
but let's take a quick break. Come back more with Rodrigo Torres, Mold Solutions in the house. And we also have special guests with him as well. Find out about that more. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
You know, we really appreciate it when you reach out to the show, the hotline. It really helps us throughout the day. When we get those calls, it really means the world to us. They call the hotline and reach out and say, hey, look, we appreciate the show. We're looking to refinance our home. We're looking to purchase. We're looking to buy. We're looking for an introduction to a technology expert, maybe an attorney, maybe a mold solutions guy. I'm looking for all these different people. That's why we do the show. It really means the world to us when you call the hotline at 813-917-1894. Tampa number at 917-1894. You can call or text. That's an off-air number. And I love talking to you guys and gals. Talking to the audience out there really makes our day. We get those calls. And, the technology is a big space right now. A lot of questions around insurance, public adjusting as well. We have Derek Coble with the Right Way PA working on that side. And Rodrigo's in studio with us, Rodrigo Torres, Mold Solutions. We're going to talk with him here in just a moment. Just some of the build-back stages of these properties after the hurricanes. Are the contractors asking for a clean bill of health? We're going to talk about that. Also got a cool clip from Maha, a little Maha moment with Making America Healthy Again while we're on that technology or on that health conversation. We'll talk with him about that as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings we're also going to feature, but I wanted to remind you about our party coming up Thursday, April 24th, 5:30 every month. We do a cool party, Dave. This is going to be another good time here at the ballpark, man. Take me out to the ballpark.
Take you out to the ball game.
To the ball game.
Yeah, so you normally have it either at Brio. Last time we were at Tarpon Turtle. This one is going to be at the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a Threshers ball game Thursday, April 24, 5:30 to 9 p.m. There's going to be all sorts of food that's going to have provided over there by the MVP team, of course. Yep. Now, it is actually $35 this time around, but it is a 5-chamber mixer, so we are going to be getting, this will be a couple hundred people there from 5 different Chamber of Commerce.
And you're getting into the baseball game.
Absolutely.
That's going to the Clearwater Threshers, so you're supporting the baseball team.
So
but yeah, great food there.
Yep,
some awesome food, hot dogs, meatballs, chicken tenders, mac and cheese, salads, all types of cool stuff. You have bottled beer, bottled water. So yeah, come on out. That's a great networking if you're a business owner out there. You're invited. We're inviting everybody out there. This time it's not a free event. Normally we pick up the tab, but it's $35 to go to the ball game. You have some great networking there. So come on out for that. We hope to see you there, and we'll be back on schedule with our third Thursday events the following month as well. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We like to feature our listings live on air, help our sellers sell faster for more money with less headaches, and we want to help you sell your real estate by featuring them live on air, maximizing the exposure and the profit. This one's 17416 Magnolia. Great opportunity here. Estate-style home, Magnolia Island Boulevard, Claremont, Florida. 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, and a 2-car garage. 3121 square feet. You have an acre of land here, and it's a gated community with lake access. Now, this is a gorgeous estate-style home. It offers that Cape Cod-inspired design. Pool, spa package, screened-in pool, paver package there, lighter color on the kitchen cabinetry, beautiful flooring, fireplace as well. Great opportunity, and it's pretty cool because it's an island. It's an island of about 30 homes. Great opportunity there in Claremont, Florida. 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard. 1700 Highland Club. This is a beautiful property in Palm Harbor, kind of an entry-level starter home. It's 1,280 square foot villa. You have wide open spaces, cathedral ceilings. You have lots of updates, recent upgrades, and new roof, HVAC system, hurricane-rated windows, patios, doors. And you have access to the golf club, executive golf course, clubhouse, pools, hot tubs, and more. And approximately a half-hour drive to Tampa International Airport. Great opportunity to buy real estate, 1700 Highland Club Court. And if you want to list your property, we're going to feature your listing live on air as well. helping you sell faster for more money with less headaches. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Rodrigo Torres, welcome back in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Good to be here.
Absolutely.
Good to be back.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. And you got your sidekick with you as always, Aspen.
That's right.
The mold sniffing dog and the mold finding dog. How do you say that?
Mold detection dog.
Detection dog. There you go. I knew
Yeah.
there was a better way than mold sniffing dog. That wasn't very good.
It's all the same.
But anyways, yeah, Rodrigo Torres. So Mold Solutions, you're helping people in these different mold situations. And, of course, anytime you have high humidity and, of course, the storms that we saw for the last few years in a row, I imagine your guys are pretty busy out there.
Correct, yeah. And just this last week, I came across several properties where, the hurricane's been, 6 months? 5 months?
Well,
6 months?
believe it or not, we're like 70 days away from the next hurricane season, right?
So it's been a while, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of surprising to find properties that are still, because the wood retains moisture for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't dry out just because it hasn't flooded again.
Right.
So a lot of these properties I'm going to, they either cut out the drywall but didn't dry it out properly behind the wall.
Yep.
And so you still have the growth on the framing.
Right.
And the wood and the furring strips and all that. So, they're still not getting that okay to build back because a lot of the contractors won't build back when you still have a mold issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going into a lot of these homes, a lot of these properties, whether it's a condo or house, and they didn't do one of the steps that has to be done.
Right.
To get the green light on the build back.
Now, how would they know that? By looking at the box out front, the permitting box, and just kind of looking in there? Because they want to be careful not to get sued, right?
Yeah. And right now they're asking for testing, right?
Okay.
So you can do a mold test where you will get sampling, air samples, swabs, get that to the lab. The lab will tell you if your air is clean, if you have any mold issues.
Right.
And once you have that green light, that clean bill of health, you can go ahead and they'll start building back the drywall. So that's where we come in, right? We're going to dry out the structure. We're going to treat it properly, make sure it's one way you could tell is that musty smell, that it's not handled.
Right.
And that's actually mold eating and farting, believe it or not.
Wow.
It's digesting and farting. That mold, that musty smell is mold farts.
Wow.
Okay. And so whenever you smell that, you walk into a place, even though the drywall has come out, and you're still smelling that mustiness.
Dave, you didn't know you were going to hear that word today.
Right? Gaseous, baby. Gaseous.
Gaseous.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so that's, mycotoxins. It's a poison from the mold, right? And so it off-gases, and that's where people get sick. That's where the health issues start to be a concern.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people's immune system can't deal with that much toxicity.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Right? So you're going to start getting sick. And so that's the biggest concern, honestly, from on our end is we're a health-centric company. We want to make sure that wherever you're living in a healthy home, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you hear a lot, especially when you have California fires. I mean, we have fires in Florida too, but not nearly as much as California, obviously. But, you hear about this outdoor air quality, but there's also a big deal around indoor air quality.
Very much.
I mean, indoor air quality can really change your life. And we've seen over the years where you've had people that have complained to their doctor. They said, the doctor's like, man, I checked everything out. I've checked all this. Maybe you have mold in your house, right?
That's right.
They come to you and
funny anecdote, I recently was investigating really good air purifiers for homes, right? Because you really want to make sure your air quality is top-notch, especially if you're sensitive. So I found one of the top air purifiers out there.
Yep.
And the name of this purifier, funny enough, is Aspen, name of my dog, right?
Cool.
The mold detection dog, same name, Aspen, environmental air. And it has HEPA filter, it has carbon filters, right? It's a very powerful thing. It takes mold spores out of the air and really, really cleans the air. So you can check that out.
Is that an add-on to your air handling system, your air system, or is it a separate
There's a guy
unit?
named Brantley May out here in Florida. He's actually in Jacksonville. He kind of turned us onto that system. where you can get a really good purifier for your home. That doesn't replace remediation, of course, right, where you're cutting out wall and fully drying out the structure and treating. But once that's done, you want to make sure your air quality is top notch, and this is one of the best of the best.
It's more maintenance, but is it some kind of an attachment? Like I think even Brandon in the past installed for us into our system one of the lights.
We're now looking into that, adding it as part of our service.
Got it.
It hasn't yet been incorporated because we just found it, and we are now testing it, and it's doing amazing.
That's cool.
It's great.
Yeah. That's cool. Rodrigo Torres here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. His company is Mold Solutions, online at moldsolutions.com. And it's a big issue in the state of Florida, a big issue out there, especially with contractors. You know, we've talked to, just last week I had Ray Hall in studio, Ray Hall Appraisals, and he was going through the step-by-step of how he bought a flip property that was affected by the storms. He bought it from a wholesaler, so I think they contracted it like $150,000 with a homeowner who's just kind of threw their hands up and said, "Hey, I'm out. I don't want to deal with this. I heard about the 50% FEMA rule and all these different things there." So they're out. So the wholesaler puts in our contract at $150, sells it to Ray Hall with Ray Hall Appraisals at $200. So he's into this thing for $200, and then he puts another close to $100,000 into it. But he's going to list it with us, and it's going to be on the market. I'm not sure exactly where we're selling it, but that's kind of like peeling back the onion a bit for folks on how that whole industry works. Wholesaler, you have an investor, they risk their capital, and then he'll probably make a pretty penny on it. And then he's going to list it with us, and we'll get it on the market. But the reason for telling that story is that there's a whole lot that goes on in between there, right,
Absolutely.
Rodrigo?
Yeah.
So where do you come in whenever, in that process? When do you normally like to be introduced?
Absolutely, yeah. So we either get someone, let's say there's a contractor, he's looking to build back, it's not ready for it, and the homeowner's ready to have a home again, whether it's selling it or whether it's moving back in. So anytime someone's either getting sick or there was a hurricane, there was a water issue where there was a flood or a leak of some sort, and it's starting to create a mold situation in the house. That's where we come in. We're gonna treat it properly. We're gonna dry it out. We're gonna you have to deal with these things properly because you don't want to cross-contaminate.
Right.
You don't want to use the wrong product. And like bleach, a lot of people are telling me they're using bleach.
Right.
And on porous surfaces, that's not going to work. It's going to agitate the mold. Mold is a living organism.
Yeah.
And so when it feels it's being attacked and you're not removing it properly, it multiplies.
Yeah.
And it grows it comes back stronger with a vengeance.
Defense mechanism.
That's right.
Yeah, you're basically agitating it now. It's putting out these spores, right? And it's spreading.
And so you come back to an even worse situation. So it's very important to call a professional.
Yeah.
And we will help anyone who wants advice. We do free estimates.
Okay.
So we'll come out to someone's house. We won't charge them for that unless you're using Aspen.
There you
mold
go.
Sniffing dog.
Yeah.
Which, interestingly enough, there's some really amazing facts. I chat GPT'd this because I wanted to know exactly what is the difference between dog and humans' ability to smell.
Oh, man. What is it, like 2 million?
And here it is. A dog has 220 million to 1 billion olfactory receptors. Humans have about 5 to 6 million.
Wow.
Right? So dogs can scent 100,000 times better than a human.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is.
Right?
It's really cool, man.
Yeah. And so they have an olfactory bulb, a part of the brain, which is about 40 times larger than the humans.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of the smelling part of the brain.
Yeah.
Right?
So cool, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
right?
I grew up in South Florida, so we'd do some hunting, some fishing, and there's different types of hunting. And so we'd have the different types of dogs. You'd have a dog that was more of what they called a trail dog, and that is the one that they're out running, and once they catch a scent, they take off and run towards the hog. For example, we were catching hogs, and then you'd get close to the hog, and then you'd release your big bulldog type. That's called your catch dog. That's your bulldog, your cur mix, and he's going to jump in there and grab that hog. And I'll leave the story there because it gets a little graphic for our audience. But it was a lot of fun as kids, growing up. But yeah, the kid, and then you see the dogs at the I love some of those cop shows, where it's across the border and they catch people. These people get so creative with putting things in door frames and inside the tires, and But these dogs, man, you can't get past that smell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where Aspen comes in. She's been great when people don't necessarily want to tear out a wall because they don't know yet if it needs it, and it's dried out. Right. So the moisture meter is not going to necessarily tell, and an air sample is not going to pick it up because it's behind a wall, right?
And a temperature gauge or what is that called? The heat gauge?
Yeah, exactly. That's not necessarily going to pick it up. Because mold could still exist on when it's dry.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
It doesn't have to be actively wet.
Got it.
It could be inert, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And she could sniff that. And so she's surprised us many times where she'll lay somewhere where it doesn't seem, there's no indication that there's mold there. And sure enough, when we remove that part of the wall, there it is.
Yeah.
It's there, right? And she's amazing. And that's actually why I have these I just got these glasses that are the Meta Ray bands.
That's great.
Because I have to record her.
The light is blinking at us.
It's not blinking right now. Yeah. But they're really cool because you can record the whole process of her searching.
Yeah.
And sniffing out the mold.
Provide proof for the insurance company.
Yeah, and this downloads to your phone and you send them
dumb question
the videos.
You know how when you record people, you have to say, hey, you're being recorded or whatever, so they can't self-incriminate. Do you have to tell people you're recording them? You do? Okay.
And the other thing is it does start blinking. When do I have your permission so you can see what it does?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Meta, start recording.
All right, start recording, Meta.
Do you see the light?
It is.
There you go.
Light.
Hey, Meta, stop recording.
Okay.
So it does that, and then it'll just upload straight to my phone.
Cool.
So there are a lot of
you can't cover that up either because it stops recording when it does. That's what someone else told me. You can't put a piece of duct tape over it.
Don't put us in the metaverse yet.
No, of course not. Yeah.
All right, we got to take a quick break, though. We're coming in on a break here, and I want to tell you about the 203H loan program as well, though. It's a really unique program. It goes hand in hand with this topic as well because it can help people that were affected with a natural disaster. It's called a 203H loan program. We're going to talk about that and more with Rodrigo Torres here, Mold Solutions, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And we're going to play a clip also of RFK talking about these pharmaceutical ads on TV. I think we're all sick of seeing those. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian, conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you win in your real estate deals. 10129 Little Road. We got a commercial property here in Tampa Bay, and then we got to get the picture of our beautiful dog in studio with us as well. Aspen, the mold detection dog. 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey. This one's 2,337 square feet, over an acre of land, professional medical business use. It's a chiropractic office currently. Shout out to Dr. Paul and Vicky up there. 2 curb cutout, circular driveway for seamless ingress and egress, ADA compliant. Great opportunity to buy real estate. New roof installed in 2020. 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey, Florida. Beautiful property. Great opportunity to see our listings. You can see all of them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
All right, so I've got a interesting loan program. This is the one I was teasing here. It's 203H loan program. Now, if your property was affected, you could be the owner or the tenant. If your property was affected by the storms and you can no longer reside in that property, you can't stay there. Again, renter or owner, you can get 100% financing to go buy a new place. So that's called the 203H loan program. We'd love to help you with that. I'm also a licensed mortgage loan originator, of course, a real estate agent as well. So we'd love to help you with that. We've got great lenders that you can also talk to associated with the show. Bruce Woodburn over there at Cross Country Mortgage does a great job as well. So we'd love to talk to you if you're buying, selling, investing. And we're going to talk more with Rodrigo Torres here. I wanted to get this clip in because it was really interesting to see that we're finally doing something about all of these big pharma advertisements on TV.
Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is taking aim at pharmaceutical TV ads. Kennedy has long called for a ban on these ads, arguing that they mislead the public and skew media coverage. Here's Kennedy a few months ago.
There's only 2 countries in the world that allow pharmaceutical advertising on the airwaves. One of them is New Zealand and the other is us. And we have the highest disease rate and we buy more drugs and they're more expensive than anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? You know, New Zealand and the United States, we have the highest rates, the most costs, and these TV ads. It's like almost every program you look at these days. And I try to stay off TV unless I'm watching live sports or, you know, checking in on the news here and there. I much more prefer to watch, you know, something else on, you know, some of the other places. But, you know, it's just so annoying to see these pharmaceutical advertisements all over the place, right?
Totally with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always an alternative that's holistic, natural, and it's going to handle, you know, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to go on a roll about it, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's also, you know, your doctor's position and to recommend what drugs you need. You know, you go to your doctor, hey, doctor, here's my symptoms, here's what I'm feeling. You know, I had a double bypass heart surgery 4 years ago, so yeah, I should probably be on a statin. You know, I got some other stuff I'm taking, but you know, to have it on TV and just running around.
And like you said, the highest disease.
Yeah.
And so we know that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
In relation to the ratio. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It shouldn't be happening. So let's get your final thoughts, Rodrigo. Rodrigo Torres, moldsolutions.com. Final thoughts. Back to you.
Yeah, so anybody out there who needs, who's getting sick, has symptoms, is feeling any kind of side effects, whenever they go home, they feel they're coughing, they're sneezing, they're having headaches, anything of the sort that doesn't seem optimum, it doesn't make sense. Have a mold inspector, have us come out. We'll take a look at the environment, making sure it's not an environmental trigger. And if it is, we're going to give you a very good consultation and recommendation of how to deal with that situation so you have a healthy home, so you can sleep, so your family's healthy, so that you feel great in your home, and that's the most important thing.
And let's get Aspen on camera here. Yes. She's asking the mold detection dog. Let's get her on camera. In case you're watching our TV show version on YouTube, you have Rumble channel out there, Apple TV, Roku, many places.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful doggy.
She's a dog. Belgian Malinois, German Shepherd from Poland.
Man. So smart. So smart. Awesome. Yeah. Well, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming in, Rodrigo.
Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, another great show. I want to thank all of our producers, Yumiko, David, Todd, always doing a great job for us behind the scenes, making the show happen. Michael Emdy on the front end of the show, talking about technology, massiveit.com. And, of course, Rodrigo Torres closing us out here, moldsolutions.com. Hey, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. Do something kind. There's so many ways that you can just help somebody's life by just doing something real small, something simple, and be that force for good we talk about. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.